without creating too much. They started pressing a lot higher.
But it's all about the results at the moment for Thomas Tuchel, isn't it?
Yeah, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters when you do play sometimes is the results, and he's going about it the right way. And I think them picking up these results when sometimes not playing too well is only going to be good for their confidence.
And talking of results, that's 6 defeats in 8, I'm afraid to say, for Newcastle. Didn't do enough in that game?
Nah, didn't start the game well enough, really slow. Didn't ask any questions of Chelsea at all throughout the game. It was a little bit better second half, higher up the pitch, a little bit more intensity. But the game was won at half-time. I think it was probably Newcastle upped the game a little bit and Chelsea had already won the game and dropped off a little bit, but never did I feel as if anything other was going to be a Chelsea win. And yeah, they saw the game out really well, but Newcastle was poor, not enough from them, particularly going forward. OK, we'll get into that a little bit later, but that does complete the Premier League match week with, as usual, so many stories and headlines and ups and downs. It all began with defeat for the champions, of course, at Leicester on Saturday. Big win for Burnley, comfortable one for Manchester City. And then on Sunday, points dropped again for Manchester United. Arsenal back to winning ways and a big win for Fulham at Everton. Earlier on, 3 goals and 3 points for West Ham, who maintained their recent momentum, and another win and clean sheet for Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea. Manchester City with plenty of breathing space. Remember that gap will be 10 points for Pep Guardiola's side if they win at Everton on Wednesday. Manchester United, after those 2 points dropped at West Brom, 46. Leicester level on points with them. And as I say, Chelsea now 4 behind them and into the top 4. But West Ham level on points with Thomas Tuchel's side. And both of them 2 clear of the champions Liverpool, who are only 3 ahead of their Merseyside rivals Everton, who have 2 games in hand. And of course, they face off in the Merseyside derby this weekend. At the bottom, the gap 7 points between Newcastle and Fulham, and then 5 to West Brom and Sheffield United with 11 beaten, of course, earlier today. I should point out Fulham have a game in hand, that is away on Wednesday at Turf Moor against 16th place Burnley. If they were to win that, then suddenly the gap between themselves and Steve Bruce's side would be reduced. For Burnley, if they were to win that, then suddenly the gap between themselves and Steve Bruce's side would be reduced to 4 points.
So long without one, how good is it to be back amongst the goals?
Yeah, I think the first half was really good from us. We played very good football. We played in the last weeks very good football. Yeah, I'm happy that I scored finally. And yeah, still a long way to go for the rest of the season. And when we keep going like this, I think would be a good end for us.
You'd been making assists, you'd won penalties, you'd been hitting the woodwork, but ultimately is what most matters to you is scoring.
Yes, of course. I think as a striker, you always want to score. The last month was not so that I was happy without scoring, but at the end, it's a team sport, and when we win, everything is good. When I help my team with assists, with winning penalties, and now with scoring, I'm happy, and I'm very glad about it that I scored today.
How did you deal with it mentally? Did you feel that if I keep getting the positions, it will come? I'm just going to be patient, keep believing.
Yeah, I think for a striker it's much worse when you don't come into the situation and you don't have chances. And I think I had in the past a lot of chances, and I missed them. And yeah, also today my team bring me a lot of situations where I can score, and that's the important thing for me. That when I keep going, the goals will come like today, and also the assists.
Well, he had a couple of opportunities before his goal today as well, but when he got it, Sean, it's the type of chance I guess you dream of when you're on the kind of run that he's been on.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have minded some of those in my day, to be honest. But yeah, like Alan said earlier in the show, good strikers, you need that little bit of luck. And I think after the 3 chances, I think it was that he missed, which he should have possibly scored. I think he was beginning to think that it's just not going to happen again. But he's carried on with his hard work and getting into the right areas, and he gambled on that corner, and he got his goal. But Jamal, he kind of just leaves and goes. So from a Newcastle point of view, it's also bad defending.
Alan?
Yeah, you got to give him credit for keep on getting in there, because he'd missed 2 or 3 big chances before that. I mean, terrible defending from Jamal Lewis. He just leaves him. And, you know, when you're on a run like he is, that's what you need. You need an open goal from 2 yards out, and then that just gets you up and running again, and that's exactly what he got. And right place, sticks it away well, obviously over the line, and you could see the relief in his face when he's running away. He was just praying that there was not going to be a VAR decision that cancelled it out, but thankfully for him, he's up and scoring again.
Yeah. Not that you'd know about 14 games without a goal, more like 14 minutes in your day. But Olivier Giroud has this impeccable record run coming off the bench. He came off the bench, of course, after the injury to Tammy Abraham. 11 minutes later, he'd broken the deadlock, Alan. Yeah,
he's obviously a good player. He's very experienced. He knows where to go, where not to go, and he sticks it away well. Good play from Werner. He stops Kraft, who had a torrid evening, I think, down that right-hand side. They looked as if Chelsea sort of targeted him. Didn't stay with runners. He gets one-on-one, and Werner stops him and then goes again. He's beaten too easily, and the goalkeeper tries to come and help these defenders, but Giroud's there to stick it away, and you can see him just pulling out there, and it falls nicely for him. He's not going to miss that, a guy of his experience.
And that position very much up for grabs under Thomas Tuchel at the moment.
Yeah, and his experience, I think, could get him that position if he keeps banging in the goals.
Olivier Giroud then with the second goal. When we come back, we'll look at the Newcastle situation. Newcastle and their manager Steve Bruce. Let's get his thoughts now.
Disappointing first half, but came back stronger in the second half. What did you say?
We found it difficult in the first half. We they passed it round us a bit too easily. But you have to say, in the first half, we just found it very difficult. The team very, very confident. Much better from a second half and played with a bit more intensity. And but very difficult even.
There's been a lot of question marks over Kepa's ability, but that was a class acrobatic save to deny Joe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good save. You know, we caused them a problem in the second half, and we didn't do enough in the first half to do that. But sometimes you have to say the opposition at times. You have to say they played very, very well. They caused us problems with Werner in the pitch. And I'm not going to talk tactics, but tactically they were very good.
We talk about the Arsenal defending potentially being dead, but that was a goal-saving tackle from Jamal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, would be disappointed how he gets in, but his recovery from Jamal was excellent. His pace was there to be seen, and so often, unfortunately, these challenges get punished now. So he had to be immaculate with it, and he certainly was.
The game's coming thick and fast. Of course, a special return always to Old Trafford. They've had draws against West Brom and Everton. Do you sense you could get something?
Well, I mean, the one thing you're going to have to do is play very, very well, and a bit more of the second half, what we've seen, then that'll give ourselves a chance. But we always know that we know these two games in particular are very, very difficult. So we'll try our utmost.
Yeah, Manchester United away next for Newcastle. Fulham will play twice before them. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Are you looking over your shoulder a little nervously now, or are you still fairly comfortable in your seat?
I'm still just fairly comfortable. I think they'll just have enough. Obviously, the result that Fulham got yesterday was a great performance and a great 3 points for them. And when you look at their next 2 or 3 games, Fulham, then their games are better than Newcastle.
And also, let's point this out. Sorry, Alan. And it is all ifs, buts and maybes, but we're into that time of the year. Burnley away, Fulham play on Wednesday night, and then Sheffield United, the bottom club, at home on Saturday night. If, big if in capital letters, if they were to win both of those, Newcastle would take to the field at Old Trafford on Sunday night, just 1 point above the drop zone.
Yeah, well, Newcastle's situation and the owner at Newcastle has only bothered about one thing, and that's keeping Newcastle United in the Premier League. They're not bothered whether they finish 4th bottom or 5th bottom, so long as they stay in the Premier League. So I don't see them panicking as yet. That is a tough game that Fulham have at Burnley away, their next game. But Newcastle's performance tonight, I thought, was poor. It was weak. They were never really in the game at all, and it was, from a Chelsea point of view, just a matter of how many they were going to get, and they saw the game out. I would expect it be tough at Old Trafford. It always is. I don't think Man United are that good a team, but they would certainly, Newcastle have to show more intent against Man United than they did this evening, because if they go into that game with the same sort of attitude, there's only going to be one outcome.
What's the outsider's view? Alan's obviously speaking from the heart. He's been there, done it, got the T-shirt there. Are you at all concerned for Newcastle when you see that position and the way they've played?
Yeah, me personally, I definitely am. After watching Fulham against Everton in midweek, the other day, I think for me it's now that they got the new striker up front, I think it could be major problems for Newcastle. I think they're going to take the chances that they will get, and it's going to have Newcastle in a bad position by the time the next game comes around, if all goes well.
I think a huge problem for Newcastle is losing Callum Wilson.
Yeah,
He's their best player. He gives them an outlet. I mean, tonight when they had the ball, they were devoid of any ideas going forward. Now, with him in the team, they've got pace, they've got someone to come short and then go